Hello one and all, it's Phil, aka Philadoxical, and I'm excited to have you join me for today's video, in which we'll be reviewing Hellboy Web of Wyrd. Before we begin, I want to clarify that I received a review code for Hellboy Web of Wyrd from Good Shepherd Entertainment via Lurkit. However, rest assured that my review will be unbiased, solely based on my personal experiences and the extensive time I've spent playing the game. I'll only take up a little bit of your time, so let's dive into the Web of Wyrd without further ado. Developed by Upstream Arcade and published by Good Shepherd Entertainment, Hellboy Web of Wyrd is a third-person roguelike beat-em-up that was released in October 2023. As you progress through the game, players will be able to explore a series of procedurally generated levels, branching off from a central staging hub that takes them across a series of different environments. From sunken kingdoms to desert villages, from creepy forests to Nazi military complexes. The story for Web of Wyrd was written by the legend, Mike Mignola himself, and all of the voice acting for Hellboy is delivered courtesy of the late, great Lance Riddick. After a BPRD team member named Lucky mysteriously vanishes whilst exploring a mansion known as the Butterfly House, Hellboy is dispatched to find him and bring him home. Unbeknownst to Hellboy, the mansion known as the Butterfly House holds a secret that is both alluring and perilous. It is built atop a series of portals that lead to another realm, the Wyrd. The Wyrd, a place run on magic and fairy tale-like powers, has been thrown out of balance. Once a vibrant and inviting realm, the Wyrd has been plunged into darkness and distortion. A new master, a nameless master, seeking to harness its power for his own, is causing chaos amongst its inhabitants. As you embark on your adventure, the fate of the Wyrd and our world rests in the hands of Hellboy and his BPRD support team. It's up to them to unravel the events that led to the Wyrd's corruption, reverse what caused it, and carefully fix the veil between the Wyrd and our world, as for each deed carried out in the Wyrd, a real-world change occurs, meaning failure to fix one world may see disastrous consequences in both. Whilst treading the fine line between detail and spoilers, Hellboy will be thrown into a head-to-head conflict with a group he has met many times before. Although he thought them defeated and dismantled after their last encounter, they may or may not have found an alternative entrance into the Wyrd apart from the Butterfly House. Although they come in many variations depending on the environment you're fighting in, there are three main enemy types. You have the smaller enemies called mooks, who are quickly dispatched. You have the larger enemies called big bads, which you will face in anything from 1-on-1 to 4-on-1 encounters. And last but not least, you have the boss of each environment you visit, which you will fight at the end of the second level of that environment. Each boss has its own backstory, achievement for defeating, and unique design. With Hellboy, you're not just getting a typical arsenal, you're stepping into the Wyrd with a unique and deadly set of weapons, each with its own distinct power and style. At the start, you'll just have you and your fists, ready to unleash both light and heavy attacks, but as you progress you'll unlock Hellboy's iconic hand cannon, a double-barreled shotgun, and finally the single-shot grenade launcher. On top of your already formidable arsenal, you have the strategic advantage of choosing one of 3 additional items too. These items can be your game changers, allowing you to repel enemies, provide a temporary shield, or deliver a devastating blow that bypasses all enemy defenses, striking directly at their health bar. As you venture into each environment, keep an eye out for opportunities to enhance your weapons. These enhancements, once acquired, will remain with you throughout your journey, boosting your weapon's damage or increasing its ammunition capacity among other benefits. To enhance your weapons, you'll need to collect specific items or complete certain tasks. This process can significantly improve your combat capabilities, so it's definitely worth investing time and effort into it in each run. You can also collect blessings which will increase your toughness and health, or even allow you to pick up more resources from defeated enemies, which you can use to buy additional upgrades. And when you're lucky enough to come across collectibles you find around the environment, or a particular resource called Shakti Shards, you can bring these back to the Butterfly House to buy upgrades for Hellboy and his arsenal. Hellboy Web of Wyrd is available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox and Windows PC. The game has a very universal pricing structure across Steam, Xbox, Switch and PlayStation, and will currently run you about £20.99 or $24.99 in US dollars. On average, it will take you about 8 to 10 hours to complete the main story. However, completionists may need around 20 hours to unlock all of the available achievements. To date, no DLC has been released. Having tried the PC version of the game, I am happy to report that I did not encounter any bugs, glitches or freezing while playing. However, Hellboy himself can be quite the tank to navigate around, so I highly recommend amending the sensitivity of your chosen input device and selecting smooth motion in the options to help increase your enjoyability and experience. Hellboy Web of Wyrd is an absolutely stunning game with a unique shell-shaded comic book art style, that's a mouthful, that truly makes the game leap from the pages of a comic straight onto your screen. With a minimal colour palette, everything really pops and highlights the intricacies and details of the environment around you. The voice lines are delivered with a crisp, clean and very understandable clarity. The background music really fits with the environment you're exploring and helps with immersion. Everything from the first cutscenes to fights and boss battles is also supported with on-screen text to ensure it is accessible to a wide variety of players. Although there were a few problems I had with the controls, which I will go into in more detail in a moment, for the most part the game feels very sluggish and slow. Although the big red monkey is just that, a big red monkey covered in slabs of muscle and carrying weaponry that would squash an average human. Everything feels very slow, and especially in combat, this can become rather frustrating. Two other issues I had with the game's handling were the camera focus and the camera's field of view. I recommend turning off the automatic camera focus in the game's options. It was extreme, snapping you from where you were looking right back to the centre, where it was supposed to be, but at really awkward times whilst fighting and exploring. For the field of view and depth of view during combat, the camera really zoomed in close on Hellboy at times, clipping through scenery or focusing on his back rather than allowing you to see the enemies around him. Unfortunately, this was not something you could amend in the game options. When coupled with the sluggish turning circles and slow movements, it only added to the frustration whilst playing. Although Hellboy Web of Wyrd is a visual marvel with fantastic voice acting, an interesting story and great music, a few things really let it down. As mentioned above, the game's combat sometimes becomes tedious and dull. The basic control layouts make little sense and need to be more user-friendly. Although you can remap these to what you wish in the beginning, I spent more time tweaking settings in the options than actually playing the game. And most of the mooks in a combat encounter do not really serve a purpose. It felt that for both a beat-em-up and a roguelike, there could really have been so much more to the combat encounters. When in a large encounter, a sea of smaller mooks will mostly back away from you, instead of engaging and using their numbers to their advantage. The final nail in the coffin, for me personally, was that if you ignore all of the smaller mooks altogether, and just kill the biggest, baddest thing in the room, all of the mooks simply disappear. Unlike most games, you also can't choose the difficulty for your playthrough until you have finished the primary campaign at least once. I found this to be a giant downside, as most of the time, as I mentioned, you can wade into enemies and hardly take a scratch. Although the big bads and bosses deal substantially more damage than mooks, once you learn how to block and dodge, you can race through environments with minimal deaths. Because of this, the game felt too easy most of the time and offered a very minimal challenge. While mentioning rushing through environments, the procedurally generated environments in which you fight as you progress can seem very empty. In smaller environments, everything is a marvel with so much detail, so much to see, and smaller paths to traverse between encounters. But as you get deeper and deeper into the Wyrd, the environments all look the same. Although they get bigger, you run through identical corridors and passages, sidestepping and avoiding straightforward traps, and looking at the same combat encounters with the same types of mooks and big bad combinations time after time. Last but not least, the reload mechanics and animations stop you in your tracks, quite literally, so good luck if you want to reload in the middle of a fight. When reloading any weapon, Hellboy must stop and remain in that exact spot whilst he reloads. The moment you try to move, the reloading ends and you have to start all over again. Although this is a personal pet peeve, some of the reload animations were also off and appeared to reload additional shells or ammunitions to the weapon that it could not hold. For example, with the single shot grenade launcher, Hellboy will try to load 2 rounds every time. You don't receive the benefit of the extra round, but still you must wait for the animation to play out before being allowed to move and engage the enemy once again, putting you at a huge disadvantage. Hellboy Web of Wyrd looks amazing. Mike Mignola's unique and unmistakable art style is brought to the screen, making the world look gothic and unnervingly atmospheric. Although Lance Riddick is no Ron Perlman, my Hellboy of choice, he does a fantastic job of bringing Hellboy to life with a humorous and sassy portrayal that perfectly fits both the game and the Hellboy persona. And for what you get with the game in terms of playability and experience, even if it is just for a single playthrough, the asking price of £20.99 is a very fair asking price, which is very rare at the current time for gaming. Before we wrap up, I would like to thank you for tuning in and spending your valuable time watching this video. I realise that I may not have covered certain things that pique your interest, as we all have our own preferences. If I have missed something you would like to know more about, please drop a comment and I'll personally make sure to address your specific queries. As a parting thought, regardless of whether you feel super hyped, a bit skeptical, or a mix of both about the game after watching the video, I urge you to give the game a go and form your own opinion, because everyone's gaming tastes are different. For now though, I'm going to sign off, but whatever you choose to do, I hope you have a fantastic time gaming. Bye! Hello one and all, and welcome to my channel. My name is Phil, aka Philadoxical, and I hail from the UK. I'm a content creator, streamer, an all-round, self-proclaimed, multiplayer badass. Or, as the saying goes, a jack of all trades but master of none. As you might be able to tell, I'm a variety gamer who loves everything from FPSs to RPGs, top-down tacticals to puzzlers. With a can-do attitude and out-of-the-box creative thinking, I'm always up for challenging myself and pushing boundaries. Whether you are looking for playthroughs, reviews, the latest For Honor executions, or hints and tips, I'm sure I'll have something that might pique your interest. And if that has not hooked you yet, did I mention I'm an expert in diplomatic negotiations? Dealing with stressful situations.
Die!
Oh! 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 Oh my God! Holy shit, I think I just crapped myself. And I'm always up for fundraising for fantastic causes. If you get a chance, check out a video or drop a follow to be kept up to date with our latest adventures. For now though, no matter what you decide to do, have a fantastic rest of your day and happy gaming.